Hello everyone. Thanks for coming to our webinar. Today we'll cover how to generate more qualified Facebook leads with Meta Conversions API and Privyr. I'm Aaron. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Privyr, and I'm thrilled to be sharing this session with Heriberto from Meta. We'll start off with what Meta Conversions API is and how it helps you optimize your Facebook campaigns to get more qualified leads. And then after that, we'll quickly touch on how to use Privyr to power Meta Conversions API right from your phone. So to kick it off, let me hand it over to Heriberto to do a quick introduction and to start things off.
Hello, everyone. Heriberto Salcedo here, based in New York, Meta Product Marketing Manager. So for everyone on the call and eventually listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I'd like to walk you through a few slides from a conversions API in terms of what it means, the product itself, and sort of essentially the value that we are trying to bring to businesses. And for this particular use case, it's around sort of supporting lead generation focused businesses and being able to reach more valuable, high quality leads via the Conversions API for CRM. So if we go to the next slide, I want to first sort of baseline us on collecting and using first party data safely. It's one of our sort of key principles when it comes to data. We built a variety of business tools, including the Conversions API, that essentially help advertisers, businesses, and marketers use their first party data to drive better business results. And we do it in a safely and responsible way where we're not sharing any data that's sent via the Conversions API to any third parties, including other advertisers or businesses, unless we're required to by law, or that you yourself, the business, advise us or consent us or permit us to do so. But the Conversions API ultimately has been built to help businesses get better results at the end. And if we go to the next slide, when you really think about lead generation business, it's quality leads. We're seeing sort of the marketing trend where generating quality leads remains a top priority and a challenge for marketers as looking at the consumer journey and the additional touch points that's needed, the nurturing component for lead generation, quality, and quantity and quantity remains top, and it remains difficult to get that done. And this is sort of where the Conversions API comes into play from a practical perspective. If we go to the next slide, Aaron. Connecting your CRM essentially with Meta technologies through the Conversions API does improve lead performance or lead campaign performance. Some use cases, essentially from a macro perspective, is one, when you're running lead ad campaigns on Meta, you can download the leads from your campaigns across Meta directly to your CRM, automated seamlessly without the need to do any additional hand holding. It allows us at a high level to share that customer knowledge back to us so that our systems can learn to better help you during your next sort of spend cycle, which then allows you to target your highest value prospects in future instant form campaigns, which I'll get to shortly, and optimize for lead quality. So think of it as you're running campaigns, you're getting the data into your CRM. That CRM is sending the data back to Meta. We, as Meta Technologies, are learning from that data so that your next spend, you can optimize for quality and not just quantity. If we can go to the next slide. And I wanted to hone in a little bit more of what that means from a performance goals perspective. So when you have your Conversions API for CRM integration functioning and completed and ready to go, you essentially unlock an additional performance goal. And it lays you, when you run lead gen campaigns, you can optimize for leads, meaning quantity. Now think of this if you're um, looking for emails or running an email capture campaign and you need a lot of numbers or need a lot of quantity. But connecting your CRM to Conversions API and sharing that data back allows you to optimize for what we call conversion lead optimization. And this is more of a quality perspective. This allows you to maximize leads who are more likely to take action. So think of this from an intentionality perspective. Think of this if um, your campaign is looking to drive new test drives for a new vehicle. So this is where you want to make sure you pinpoint your specific campaign to a specific audience that's more likely to drive action as opposed to just a high volume of numbers. And this is where the conversions for CRM um, integration really drives value. And when we see results, if you go to the next slide, Aaron, we've seen in comparison to lead ads with instant forms optimized for volume of leads, conversion lead optimization drives 15% reduction in cost per quality lead and a 44% increase in rate of converting a lead to a quality lead. So we're seeing just from a macro perspective, huge results in improving performance when you're running instant form campaigns and connecting your CRM data back, uh, uh, sending sending data back via your CRM via Conversions API. And when we break that down with specific categories, I wanted to share two case studies. Is one, the next slide, Aaron, please, is Mira Clinic. And this is a Turkish cosmetic dentistry and plastic surgery company. And their objective from a campaign perspective was to drive more sales and high quality leads. And one of the tactics that they did was run instant form campaigns and conversion lead optimization goals after they had their CRM connected. And they saw 48% more quality leads generated with conversion leads and a 36% lower cost per lead. So we've seen it work. We've seen it work, and it's working across various verticals. And if we go to the next slide, and this is sort of another case study, professional services, where a similar objective in optimizing for leads that are more likely to convert. They took a similar sort of tactic in running instant form campaigns with conversion lead performance goals after connecting their CRM, and they've seen even a larger results of 56% lower CPA compared to their website conversion, 58% increase in return on ad spend. So again, we're seeing sort of that quality component really drive higher results and at a lower cost, which is essentially why the product was built in the first place. Now, I wanted to give you all a peek under the hood in terms of how it works. If we go to the next slide, is if you look at from a customer journey perspective, you sort of, if you go from left to right, you have your potential customer. You run a campaign to click on your ad or like sign up for a free trial. That particular action goes into your CRM in terms of new lead acquired, and depending how you set up your funnel, that they move across sort of along the phase. Without connecting your CAPI or your CRM to Converge's API, that's sort of where all the visibility from our perspective goes away. We don't really have any knowledge into what happens to that lead after you've run your lead ad campaigns, you're connecting your CRM to Meta and automatically porting that lead directly into your CRM, and then what happens next. With Conversions API integration, you're sharing those funnel stages or how that customer is moving across the funnel, that information back to Meta, so that now Meta has more visibility into that customer journey in terms of how they're progressing, whether they've made it all the way through a conversion, maybe they've made it midway and then stop. And that allows our systems to train and learn based off your business. And that what allows you to do as a business is optimize for lead quality in the future. So future campaigns can run with conversion lead performance goals. And essentially, we're targeting leads now that are more likely to convert, or you have the option to target more leads that are likely to convert. So when you think about your strategy, you can have certain campaigns that may drive more quantity, and you have that capability. But if it's a more sort of high touch intentionality approach, you now have that ability to optimize for more quality as well, which is um, great for businesses. Now, how do I get started? If we go to the next slide, there are some prerequisites, and it's essentially two. Is one, right now, Convergence API for CRM is a data integration tool that essentially works with lead ads with instant forms, and instant forms is a conversion location. So instant forms is our native um, campaign conversion locations. It is a mobile first in feed form that allows you to run sort of campaigns to essentially garner customer interest And what's great about it is one, it's already embedded into the platform. So there's sort of a seamless, frictionless experience where the customer is not moving from one interface to the other. Everything sort of is within the feed. Two, it has the ability to pre-populate information based off information that the customer has already shared to Meta, email, first name, last name, etc. So it allows you to sort of it's quick, frictionless, and that's where right now where we have this sort of integration working. And the other is that the business needs to at least generate 200 leads per month. And this is sort of think of this as a feasibility component to the sort of the optimization and the modeling work. It allows us that we have enough information flowing into our system so that we can uh, better train our models to provide better optimization performance for you all. So those are prerequisites, and you have sort of two ways to integrate. And these are sort of um, this is really where sort of Privyr shines, and this is sort of where this partnership is golden. It's one, you essentially have two methods of integrating, right? You can one, do it yourself, if you see that at the bottom. You can build your own integrations. It is complex. The estimated time of duration for that could take months. You need to ensure that you have technical resources, bandwidth, sort of all of it in the back end in order to enable this technical integration. But what we recommend is working with a meta business partner. And this is sort of where Privyr has done all of the work for you. You can essentially integrate in less than an hour, even less, and Aaron will go through that. But they've essentially took a lot of our technical APIs and our technical infrastructure built on top of it and allow businesses in a very frictionless way to just do it in no clicks and literally remove that need to have technical resources, infrastructure, bandwidth, etc., to in order to make this happen. You can do in with the partner, especially Privyr, in three steps, in a more simple way. So I want to go to the next slide and really bring that home is if you try to essentially do it yourself, this is sort of think of this as your project timeline, where it can essentially take up to 3 months with setting the foundations, connecting your CRM, setting up the specific fields, creating pixels, all of these sort of technical milestones are things you would have to do on your side on top of sort of also building on the API itself, which can take months and a lot of resourcing. And this is sort of where Privyr and our partner community and the rest of the partner community really helps businesses in terms of just few clicks, time saved, no need for technical resources. And Aaron is going to walk you through that shortly. And we're seeing results. If you go to sort of my last slide that I wanted to cover is when Meta business partners facilitate CRM and data integrations, it's essentially to lessen the lift. Advertisers that are using these partners see and achieve 53% more leads when adopting a partner than doing it on themselves. And I think that's what really drives the value of this partnership with Privyr um, and and Conversions API for CRM. So that's a little bit about Conversions API for CRM. I'm going to toss it now to Aaron to walk you through sort of how this technology lives in their system and how you all can utilize it today.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ediberto. And thanks for that. Now that we know about how Meta Conversions API helps you optimize your campaign and drive better lead quality, I'll touch a bit on how Privyr makes it very easy, not just to set it up, but to drive this on and feed those algorithms on a continuous basis by either you or your sales team, and how we make that easy and seamless all throughout. Now, I know there's a lot of people here today that are existing Privyr users and customers who are very excited to get it set up, but I also know that there's some new people who may not know that we are. So let me just take a couple of minutes to do a very quick introduction on who we are, what we do, before getting into the actual setup of Privyr with Meta Conversions API. So for those that don't know, Privyr is a mobile-first CRM that it's built for the B2C sales process. So our job is to make it super easy for you to capture, engage, and manage your leads from your phone, as well as do things that are typically complex, such as running meta conversions right from your phone. So we're built specifically for sales and marketing professionals who do a few things. One, who usually work off their phone as their primary work device. Two, who generate leads across online and offline sources, such as Facebook lead ads. Three, who personally contact leads through apps like WhatsApp, text message, iMessage, Telegram, phone calls, and more. And four, who generally follow up multiple times with each lead over several weeks or months because you're selling a high value good or you have a longer sales cycle. Now, of course, we have many customers across many different industries and geographies, but these are kind of the unique points where we can come in compared to more complex tools that are built for, pure email, B2B complex sales cycles. So this is where we really shine. And why we started the company is we found that in this mobile first environment for sales, running a good sales process is becoming a lot harder. And even something as simple as contacting a new lead that inquires on Facebook can take hours or even days of a lot of slow and manual processes like downloading a CSV, adding the contacts to your phone, typing or copy and pasting the same messages over and over, finding the sales content that you want to share, personalizing your messages. There's just a lot of work that you have to do that involves manual work and processes. Even after you've done all of this, you have zero visibility, insights, or control over what's happened. It's hard to have a history of what your team has done, which leads are interested, which leads are viewing your content. Any data that you have is fragmented across WhatsApp, text message, phone calls, maybe a spreadsheet somewhere, maybe a notes app. And what happens is it's hard to keep track and follow-ups don't happen. We need to set reminders, log interactions, figure out what to say. And if you're generating dozens, hundreds, or more leads per week, per month, then it gets out of control very quickly. And what we found, not only is this very time consuming, but it leads to poor sales and missed opportunities. And that's why we built Privyr. Our job is to just make it easy for you to turn more leads into clients right from your phone. Now, of course, we have a web version as well that you can use, but we really shine if you are working off your phone a lot and just need something simple and effective, yet powerful to help you do more sales. So what we've seen is we deliver a 5 times improvement in sales and productivity for a lot of our customers. And a key thing is that we work with the devices, apps, and workflows that you're already using. So whether you're using WhatsApp Personal, WhatsApp Business, text message, iMessage, Telegram, phone calls, email, Gmail, if you're running Facebook lead ads, if you want to use Meta Conversions API, we work with all of that with very little to no setup needed. Just to give you a quick run through of how this works, let's say with Facebook lead ads, first thing that you can do is you connect all your different lead sources to Privyr, and we can connect to many different sources like Facebook lead ads, Google ad lead forms, TikTok lead gen, LinkedIn lead gen, WordPress websites, Wix websites, all sorts of different websites and portals, your phone book CSV, and all of these are direct connections. So you don't need another third-party platform. You don't need to pay extra fees to connect to all of these platforms. And most of these you can set up in less than a minute. Now, once you've set these up, you will get instant alerts of your leads right on your phone. So all your leads go into your phone. You don't need to check 5 different apps and websites to get your leads. You don't need to download CSVs. All of these get sent directly to your phone or app, and you have automatic deduplication. You have lead assignment rules to route rules automatically if you have multiple team members. Not only that, we help you with the personalized outreach because getting the lead to you is just step one. Of course, after that, you want to call, you want to send a personalized introduction with as little effort as possible. And this works with WhatsApp, SMS, iMessage, any of the popular tools. And this is literally one tap without having to type, without having to copy and paste. You don't even need to save to your phone book. So we make it super easy to reach out to every lead within seconds. So just to give you a quick demo of how this works, let's say you've connected Facebook, you will receive the lead right on your phone. You'll get that alert. Once you tap, you'll see all the information that the lead has submitted so that you understand who this is. You can then send a quick response and select your different templates. So you can have your different introductions, your follow-ups, all your different message templates. Just select the one that you want to send, and this will get sent through WhatsApp, text, whichever your default channel is. Again, personalized for your client. You don't need to type, you don't need to copy and paste, you don't need to change the name, you don't need to save to your phone book. Super quick and easy to reach out to every new lead as quickly as possible and very low effort. Now, once you've done this, we know it's never about contacting a lead once. If you only call or contact a lead once, you're wasting a lot of good quality leads that may not have seen or be free at the moment. So we set up automatic follow-up reminders for you to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the leads. So as soon as you contact a lead once, we'll set a reminder for 3 days later. This can be customized. And once you get the reminder, you'll be able to see all the details that they've submitted again, your entire activity timeline, and sending that next follow-up is as simple as clicking quick response, selecting a follow-up template, and again, no need to type, no need to copy and paste, no need to switch between apps and search for them. Super easy for that first outreach for the subsequent follow-ups. Now, there's a few more things that we do that I want to touch on. First is point five. If you're sending a lot of files, brochures, PDFs, or other media-rich sales content like images, videos, and things like that, you can send those through Privyr and you'll actually be able to track the views on it. So whether you're sending it through SMS, text, iMessage, WhatsApp, you'll still be able to track it to know when they're clicking it. They'll get alerts, how many times they viewed it, even how long they spent looking at it across those devices. So super powerful to know who's engaging, even if they're not replying to you. And last but not least, we just make it super easy to manage your leads from your phone. So all your leads from online and offline, every lead, every interaction, notes, activity logging is automatic, custom fields, and of course, with Meta CAPI, we promise to make it easy for you. You will just have a button on every lead called Meta Conversion Lead Status. And if it's a good lead, just click the button to mark it as qualified. We handle everything else for you. So literally one button to click for you or your sales team to power the entire Meta Conversions optimization. And I'll touch a little bit more on that shortly. Okay, so we are trusted by over 300,000 sales professionals and businesses and marketers across more than 125 countries. And we've helped them receive and engage with over 100 million leads through Privyr. Most of these are actually Facebook lead ads, so we're very, very highly optimized to help you receive, engage, and convert your Facebook leads. And we're only going to get better now with this new partnership with Meta Conversions API to help drive that further optimization. So across many countries, many different industries, we can work for your needs, and we want to make it super easy for you to do right from your phone. And our users are getting real business results, thousands and thousands of customers who report up to a 5 times improvement in sales and productivity after adopting Privyr. Here are some of the quotes of people saying, profits literally increasing 5 times, saving tons of hours of manual work for your team, seeing productivity increase by 300%. And what we really love to see is it's so easy to use. It's a very straightforward, simple yet powerful app. Because if it's so complicated, you don't have the time or energy to do all of this. And all of these results are even before CAPI. So we're very excited to do this and offer it to all of our customers to help you drive even better results. So as promised, I will now go into how Privyr works with Meta Conversions API and how to set this up to generate even more qualified leads. So as Heriberto already mentioned, this entire purpose is to help drive better marketing return on ad spend with Privyr and Meta Conversions API so that it's a two-way feed of the data, Meta sending the leads to your Privyr account and you sending that qualified conversion data back to Meta to really train the system and continue optimizing to get you higher quality leads. And we're very proud to be the only CAPI integrated mobile first CRM to help you optimize your Facebook campaigns with your offline sales conversion data. And I think Heriberto had already mentioned some of the big benefits of reduction in lead quality, or sorry, reduction in cost per quality lead, as well as increase in conversion to a quality lead. So obviously very, very good things for those marketers out there that are looking for better leads and better quality. So how it works is once you get a lead on Facebook, you will receive it instantly in your Privyr account. From there, you can contact and manage them as we saw earlier. And then you can, of course, continue managing and following up with them. And this is how people are using Privyr with Facebook lead ads today. Now, what we're introducing is the Meta Conversions API so that in the click of a button, you'll be able to share qualified lead information back to Meta to optimize your campaigns to drive more qualified leads. And we'll show you exactly how to do this and how this can be very, very simple. So here, before I get into it, here's an overview of the setup process for Privyr and Meta CAPI. And as Heriberto showed earlier, if you want to do it yourself, there's many different steps. It takes many months development time and effort. But with Privyr, our promise is to make it as easy as possible for you. There's three simple phases, and the total configuration time across all phases is less than 10 minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll show you how easy this is. So phase one is where you connect Privyr to your Meta Conversions API, and this is where you link your Privyr account to Meta Conversions and start marking good leads as qualified in the Privyr app. So this is only takes about 2 to 3 minutes to set up. You'll do this from your Privyr account on web. And after you do that, you will need to wait 7 days for that lead conversion data to build up and appear in the Meta side. So 2 to 3 minutes and then some wait time of 7 days. Once that is completed, the second phase is to configure sales funnel on Meta. So this is where you will go into Meta Business Suite and just map your sales funnel stages. Again, just another 2 to 3 minutes of work. And once that's done, you will then need to wait another few weeks for the funnel analysis and learning on Meta side to really optimize your campaigns and figure out how to best serve and drive better results. Now, once this is done, the last thing is just going in and running your conversion optimization campaigns in Ads Manager. You just click the button to set your performance goal as maximize number of conversion leads. And this only takes about 1 to 2 minutes. So it's really, really simple, 5 to 10 minutes across this entire time, though there is some wait time, but the actual work you need to do is just 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so that's the high level overview of the three phases. Now, before you can get started, there are some very simple prerequisites. Number one, you should have a Facebook account that is running Facebook lead ads. Number two, you can have a Meta Pixels under to be set up under your Meta Business Suite and an Events Manager, and I think a lot of you would already have these. And number three, you should have a Privyr account connected to your Facebook account. So if you don't have one already, you can just scan this QR code, create a free account with free trial to all the features of Privyr. This will set you up with connecting to Facebook lead ads. It's as simple as clicking on the integrations tab, clicking Facebook, click login with Facebook, and about 2 more clicks, you're connected. So all in all, about 15 seconds to get set up and start receiving leads from Facebook lead ads right into your account. So I believe most of us will have this already, but even if you don't, super simple to get set up. Now, to actually set this up, phase one, connecting Privyr to your Meta Conversions API, this will be done from the web version of Privyr at privyr.com. All you need to do is log in, click on your profile photo, and then under settings, click on Meta Conversions API, and then log in with Facebook. And as soon as you click login with Facebook, you'll be prompted to confirm your Facebook profile, make sure that you're logged in on the right profile, and click continue. Click on next. And then under confirm settings, you just want to make sure that your correct business portfolio and Metapixel are selected. So if you only have one, it'll be selected by default. Otherwise, just click and make sure the correct one is selected, and then click continue. Next, you'll be prompted to confirm permissions. So just make sure everything is on. It's already on by default. Just click next. And then after that, you'll see the success screen and click done. So that's really all the setup that's required for phase one of connecting Meta Conversions API to Privyr. In your Privyr web, you'll be able to see the status of the pixel and now that it's connected, and you can start marking good leads as qualified in the Privyr app and web. So once this is done, you will now see a new option called Meta Conversion Lead Status anytime that you view a Facebook lead in the Privyr mobile app or Privyr web. And all you need to do is whenever you have a lead that's qualified, if it's a good lead, just click this button and that will mark it as qualified. And that will automatically send the data to Meta in the backend. So that's really all you or your team has to do on an ongoing basis. Once everything is set up, just keep clicking to mark leads as qualified, and this will feed all the algorithms and handle everything on its own. So from a user perspective, from your team's sales team's perspective, that's all they need to do. Just when it's a good lead, click to drive that. And we'll touch a bit shortly on what a good lead can be defined as. Now, once you're doing this, you will need to send conversion data for about 7 days before proceeding to phase two. And you just keep clicking um, qualified on the good leads. Now, for phase two, you need to have completed 7 days of lead conversion. So just clicking that button for 7 days. It doesn't have to be 7 even consecutive days. It just needs to be 7 unique days that you're sending that data and marking leads as converted. And once that's done, you can start phase two under your Meta Business Suite Events Manager. First, click on your data sources, then ensure that you have the correct metapixel selected, and then click on settings. So here you'll see the setup steps. You should see configure sales funnel, and you can just click continue. If you don't see this option yet, it could be that you just need to wait a few more days and keep sending that conversion data before this enables. But after 7 days, you should see configure sales funnel. Just click continue. Here, first, you'll be prompted to invite your teammate. You can just skip that step because it's super easy to do yourself. Next, it will prompt you to configure sales funnel stages. And all you need to do is just click add for initial lead and qualified lead under your positive stages. So this will be mapped and just make sure initial lead first and then two qualified lead. Click next. And lastly, under your optimization target, what you want to do is you want to uncheck initial lead and then check qualified lead. And what this will do is it will tell Meta that you want to optimize on qualified leads. When lead is qualified, and you want to find more leads that are similar to the qualified leads. And you'll see that there's some tips and tricks around choosing an optimization stage that falls within the range of 1 to 40%. So if you are in a longer sales cycle, you may not want, if it takes you 6 months to close a deal, you may not want to wait until a deal closes before marking a lead as qualified. What you want to do is within a shorter time period, maybe within a few days or a week, maybe something that fits 30%, 40% of your leads. For example, if a lead books a viewing or books a meeting or responds with interest, of course, if they make a purchase, that's great. But depending on your business, it may be a uh, different event. But whatever it is, when you know that it's a good lead, just click that button to mark it as a good lead. So this is all that's needed to configure your sales funnel. That will just take a few minutes. And once that's done, you just need to wait a little bit. So here you need to wait a few weeks for Meta to run analysis on your sales funnel and train their models. There's no further action required during this phase. Just keep sending that conversion data from the app as you have, and you'll see that it will slowly go through the stages of funnel analysis and then the learning phase. So funnel analysis is where Meta will analyze your Privyr data to confirm that the leads are properly flowing through. They're going through the sales funnel, and this can take up to 3 weeks. And lastly, you will go into the learning phase, which is where Meta will learn how to optimize your ads for the best performance. And this can take between 2 to 4 weeks for most advertisers. Now, once that's done, the last step is just to run a conversion optimization campaign. So all you need to do is the next time you run a campaign, or if you want to edit an existing campaign, as long as there's a lead campaign objective, you'll be able to set the performance goal here under step one, set that to maximize number of conversion leads as opposed to just the number of leads. And under CRM integration, make sure that you've selected the metapixel that you were using before. So that's it. Any campaign that you want to optimize, that's a lead ad campaign, just go to performance goal, select maximize number of conversion leads, and CRM integration, select the pixel that you've been using. And as soon as you do this, Meta will then start to optimize your ad to use your CRM lead data to reach higher quality leads, and you'll get all the benefits that we talked about. So those are the three phases. It seems like a lot of steps, but again, if you try it out, it's only a few minutes for each phase, less than 10 minutes overall. There is some waiting in between, but you just need to wait for that. And the setup is actually very straightforward. Now, that is just a one-time setup that you need to do. Once that's set up, all you need to do on a recurring basis is just keep marking your leads as qualified on Privyr. From the user perspective, from a salesperson or for your sales team perspective, all they need to know is that if a lead is good, just click on Meta conversion lead status, and that will mark it as qualified, and that will drive everything. So as we promised, as simple as clicking a button, that will help to drive that entire algorithm and make it easy for you once it's set up. So that's it. That's how easy it is to get set up. Now, that's all we have for today. We'll answer some of the questions, but hopefully that gives you a good sense of how you can generate more qualified Facebook leads with Meta Conversions API and Privyr. If you don't have an account already, you can create a free Privyr account with a free trial of Privyr Pro and unlimited access using the left QR code. If you are a larger team, if you have more complex needs, you need a demo, you need some setup first, feel free to scan the right QR code to get in touch with our sales team. I'll break here and we can go through some of the questions that we have. Great. So there's been a number of questions. Let me go. First one. So someone asked, will shifting to an offline CRM conversions imported from Conversions API cause fluctuation in performance in the short term due to lower conversion volume and learning phase? Um, Heriberto, are you
Yeah,
comfortable?
I can take that. I think, yes, I think the short answer is you is basically yes. And the reason is that then going back to the learning phase, you won't really get to see performant sort of ads or performant impact until at the very least within 1 week of the learning phase step all the way to 2 months when it's essentially complete. That's where you should start to see sort of the maximum impact. But at the short term, we essentially need more time to train our models so that sort of performance or that impact um, really won't be realized until at the very least 2 months of the learning phase from post completion.
Awesome, thanks. And there's a question for Heriberto. What do you suggest for a lead which filled the form but never answers? Should it be classified as not qualified?
I would say I would sort of back to the business and sort of the service that's being offered. I think you can qualify it as an initial lead, but I think allow some time sort of before that lead becomes quote unquote dormant, where it's sort of not a qualified lead. I think if it's, I don't know, 10 days, or 30 days, depending on what the solution product service that's being sold and advertised and what that essentially conversion window is. I think that timing should help you identify what's sort of an initial lead versus a qualified lead. So if someone's not answering after, I don't know, 30 days, I would probably consider it dormant and not qualified. That's just my take.
Yeah, and maybe I'll add on a little bit on this. We have a lot of customers who typically have this complaint when they get started with ads, particularly on social media, where you're not necessarily reaching out or you're not showing your ad to people who are, searching for your product or service right now, but rather seeing it on their feed. Um, what we've seen is there's a few things that really affect whether or not leads respond to you. Now, the good thing is that if a lead comes in through Facebook lead ads, seen your ad, they clicked it, they found it interesting enough to actually submit their name, details, number, answer any questions that they have. So there is some level of qualification there. One of the main reasons that we see of leads going unresponsive is because if you send the message the wrong way, if you just call from an unknown number, if you give up after one try, a lot of times that's the issue. If you call them and remember they're seeing an unknown number, they don't know who you're calling, they don't know what this is about. They're probably worried that it's a scam or something like that. A lot of people just won't pick up. So what we usually recommend is always send a message. Through your country's dominant messaging platform, be it WhatsApp, be it iMessage, text message, whatever you usually use from a personal basis. And there's rules on how you actually write that message to get the higher response. So there's techniques on what you want to say in that first message. Of course, in the first 10 words, you usually want to put the lead's name, you want to put the product or service that they're interested in, give them a little bit of context and not write a generic message. A lot of these small things will actually help improve your response rates drastically. And like with our customers, we've seen really changing that first message can triple their response rates. for the outreach. We've created a lot of content on that, but I would also recommend don't jump to the conclusion so soon that, if you make one call or send one or two messages, that these are bad leads. Maybe you can go and look at how those messengers or that outreach process can be improved as well. Great. Another question. How about reporting back not quality leads? Will that be further optimized or only positively qualified leads should be done only? As of right now, Privyr we wanted to make it super easy for you just to have one button to click for quality leads. So that's what's possible right now. We will be introducing in the next few months, different lead funnel stages in the app so that you can optimize what are good events, what are bad events. That's on the Privyr side. I'll let Heriberto talk a little bit if there's anything to add on like the positive versus negative lead question.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work on our side to reduce sort of spam on our side as well. So think of that as sort of our model doing more homework to identify what spam looks like and we sort of removing that at the top before sort of we're even optimizing your campaign for you. So in hopes that you're not reporting back uh, quality leads. So our hope is that as we're optimizing and our models are learning based on that the funnel behavior, that you'll see less quote unquote not good quality leads. And that's essentially the genesis of this entire project.
Awesome. Next question is how many leads do I need to have generated first before I start this? I run an agency and work with new clients. Is this something I can do after generating three leads? Or, oops, sorry, the message may have disappeared. Um, yeah, I think, sorry, the message disappeared, but I think it's how many leads are required if it's a new agency.
Yeah, it's the right now our feasibility is 200 leads per month is what we need um, to start to optimize and train our models effectively.
Great. Next is the metapixel mandatory if I'm passing back conversions via CAPI.
Yes, and think of the pixel, it's more of a data set. You're sort of developing a data set or a container. So we know that the data that's being passed in, we can map it back to the correct ad account and treat that ad account in our models. But yes, we call it pixel, but it should be reframed as a data set. And that data set is for specifically CRM events in this case. And that's how sort of we tag it and we sort of move it. We add a taxonomy on top of it, and then we sort of say, okay, these are CRM events that are coming in. Let's move that here and optimize here. Because I think going back to our data privacy slide earlier is we use the data intentionally for that purpose. So that's sort of where the CRM data set is used for instant forms, and we don't use that data for anything else.
Awesome. Next, how many leads should be generated per the first week?
Tough to say. I think ultimately I'm going back to the month answer. As long as you're hitting at the very least 200 leads per month, it can fluctuate how that looks like per week because we're going to look at from a month perspective.
Great. And next, what if I have old leads where we've tagged them qualified? Is there any way to download a template, mark all qualified, and reload it? We have about 10,000 old leads.
Just going to read this again. What if I have all leads where I've tagged them as qualified? Is there a way to download a template? Oracle Core. You can. We do have the ability if you're running lead ad campaigns in Meta. You do have a way to download those leads manually. And sort of if you need to remark them, and I'm assuming, and Aaron, you can help here, re-upload them into your Privyr CRM as with under sort of a new field. But that capability is there. You need to do some manual work there.
Great, and I think that handles the next one as well. If we don't have a CRM yet, can we directly use CAPI to upload conversions for lead gen purposes? Of course, going forward, if you want to use Privyr or another CRM, then that helps you do it much easier without having to do development, downloading, uploading. Um, but Edilberto, anything you want to add on that if
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would
have?
say if you don't have a CRM, there is Conversions API for web. And this is if you're driving folks to your website to fill out a form. Conversions API for web also serves as that, where you're sending back events. It's a different integration. It's more, think of it as like where the data is coming from. Conversions API for CRM, the data is coming from your CRM systems. Conversions API for web is coming from server to server, wherever your first party data is currently stored. So if you're storing it in, let's call it data center Y, you can sort of do a conversions API for web integration um, with a similar purpose. You won't be able to use the conversion lead optimization goal from a ad campaign perspective, but you still will be able to do some sort of performant advertising. It's a different integration, different parameters, but that use case is there.
Great. Next one, is it possible to get even treatment of ads? I've got one campaign with 10 different properties. Currently, Facebook gives me many leads for one specific property, and then after a week or two, leads for a different property. But in the meantime, the other nine properties are not really performing.
I'm guessing properties.
It's probably products.
I think it comes down to the optimization component, and I think this is where CAPI for CRM can help in learning about those campaigns and how that's sort of performing or not, and being able to target more effectively um, is what I can say at the moment without knowing specifics in terms of the campaigns themselves. That's a great question.
Great. We have a question for Privyr. What's in the Pro and Ultimate plan? So when you sign up for an account, you'll have full access to all the Pro features of Privyr, and this includes unlimited integrations, unlimited lead alerts, unlimited lead sources that you can connect to, um, unlimited team members, price per team member, but of course it's free in the free trial. Uh, Messaging, CAPI, everything, it's all included at an unlimited basis. On the ultimate plan, it's really more for the larger teams that have, different team hierarchies, multiple branches, advanced permission requirements. You have more branding and content customization. You want more personalized onboarding, an account manager, advanced analytics, and a lot more of those advanced features really targeted towards larger teams. But I think you can always just get started on the free trial. You'll get free access to Privyr Pro. After that, we even have a free forever version. So if you just want an easy way to receive your leads, then you'll get those leads instantly on your phone. That will work on the free version, but the Meta CAPI, if you want to continue using that integration, that is on the Pro version, but it's just included in the cost. So you don't have to pay extra money just to use CAPI. You don't need to pay per event or conversion. All that's included for you. Next question. What if we can't reach 200 leads a month? What happens next?
I think there, essentially when we're going through the stages, like the verifying data, we'll be able to flag that there's not sufficient amount of data. And essentially think of your sort of being, I don't want to say the word stuck, but you're sort of on hold until there's sufficient enough data um, that will pass you to the next stage, essentially. Because what you will see in events managers, you will see sort of different sort of lights depending on check marks, depending on the stages, and you'll sort of see a stage sort of on hold until there's sufficient amount of data.
Great. I think this next one is a question for Privyr. Formatting is not currently possible in the message. Do you have any plans to add it? I believe this is talking about the message templates that are within Privyr. So right now it's within the system, it's plain text because, when you send through a WhatsApp or text message or any of these other platforms, they all have different formatting options. So what you can do is you can just use the format styling that your preferred messaging app supports. For example, if you're using WhatsApp regularly, you can still format it using, for example, asterisks to make bold or the tildes for strike through with the bullet points and all that. That can be done. It won't appear in Privyr because the templates in Privyr can be sent through multiple channels like text or WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. But if you use the formatting of your preferred channel, such as WhatsApp, then by the time that you send it out in WhatsApp, all that formatting will be applied automatically. So yeah, it may not appear formatted in Privyr because it works across platforms, but by the time you send it through the platform, that formatting will actually be applied as long as you follow the formatting styles of your platform. Um, Next question, please. How can we connect Meta and Privyr together? I think we just covered that earlier on. If you missed that section, then you can just rewatch this video. We'll send this out to all attendees, and we have a help guide as well that can walk you through this. But there's really just those three phases that we covered earlier. If you want on the video, you can just skip back to that section on how to do it. Yes, and absolutely, we will share this link of the recording. Um, Next question. WhatsApp will ban if spam activities to someone else. Usually, WhatsApp limit to 5 prospect contacts at one go. If too often, my WhatsApp will ban. Will Privyr have the same issues? So what we've seen with WhatsApp is that typically people don't get banned for sending a bunch of messages. People get banned for kind of like spamming or not having context. So Privyr doesn't make it any more likely that you're going to get banned. Privyr also doesn't make it any less likely that you're going to get banned. Obviously, if you're sending obscene materials, if you're sending illegal things, if you are, being reported as spam, then whether or not you're using Privyr, that will likely get you banned. But we have customers that are sending literally thousands of messages to new leads every day, like to cold leads that are for the first time of leads that have submitted. So as long as you're reaching out to leads that have submitted interest, as long as you're sending the message in the right way, I don't believe that you'll be banned. It's really independent of whether or not you use Privyr. But you will not get banned just for using Privyr with WhatsApp. Let me see. Let us just find a few more CAPI specific questions. After I set up the CAPI connection, I need to wait 7 days for my CRMs to be sent to Meta. If I stop running my campaigns during that time, will it restart the 7 day period when I begin running the new campaign? Great question.
No, essentially it's not. It is, and it's not campaign based. Essentially, the 7 days is really looking at your sort of your funnel and looking at your CRM from an event perspective. So that 7 days in terms of the data that's being sent, it's sort of understanding how customers are moving through your funnel stages. So think of it as event one, an initial lead, event two, moving from initial lead to whatever that next step stage is in your CRM. All of those are events that we're learning, whether you're running campaigns or not. If you're running campaigns, that's just bringing in more leads for yourself and more sort of leads into your CRM. But essentially, we're learning now from your CRM all of those events based uh, on how they're moving throughout your purchasing or your sales funnel.
Perfect. And there's a follow-up on the no CRM question. CAPI for web only supports online conversions, right? Like website visit form submissions. If I want to upload offline conversions like qualified leads or converted leads, but I don't yet have a CRM, could I still try to upload the data via CAPI? Or is the only way to upload and optimize towards these offline conversions is to set up via CRM and CAPI for CRM?
But there is a conversion, there is a conversions API for offline events. It's in our, we have an external developer doc, and you can utilize that from from a data in to optimize for performance perspective. It's called Conversions API for offline events, and it's externally available now.
Great. Next question, and I think this has come up quite a bit, but definitely an interesting question that people are interested in. How does this apply to small businesses that don't have 200 plus leads coming in every month, but we are having leads kind of casually and gradually coming in on a monthly based, or is a newbie just getting started? Does this information apply to us? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great insight, and it's something that we are currently evaluating. We're evaluating a lot of our thresholds that exist today, and we're asking ourselves, hey, can we help more businesses if we can lower that threshold of 200 leads? Are we able to provide businesses the same impact? And it's something that we're testing now, and we'll see how these tests go. And things we may revise them. But it's something that it's a piece of feedback that we are always also getting. And our goal is to support businesses of all sizes. So I hear you, and it's something that we're, actively looking, because at the end of the day, what we don't want to do is lower the requirement and you, the business, not able to see that performance or that impact. So we just want to be able to balance that. But we hear you, and we're working on that.
Yeah. So I think one thing that I'll add is that in Privyr and for the setup, there is no requirement of you to have 200 plus leads just to get started. So if you plan to, scale up your marketing to 200 plus leads in the future, once, you have more confidence, once you get everything up and running, you can still set up Privyr with Meta Conversions API today. You can start sending those events. As Ediberto mentioned, you may get stuck somewhere in the middle where you may not be able to proceed to the next phase, but you can already start using Privyr to start marking the leads as qualified and sending the data. So if you do have plans to scale it up over time, or maybe you have a sales team, you just want to get them in the habit of marking those leads as qualified, but maybe only next month or 3 months from now, then you'll scale up your campaign. You can always do those. You can always start first, and then by the time you do hit the thresholds, there's already data sitting there. Your team is already trained. They're used to it, and they don't need to learn anything new. And then once you hit that threshold, then you can unlock and move to the next step. So there's no requirement to get started, but yeah, very transparently, as Ediberto mentioned, if you're not hitting that threshold and not able to configure the full steps of the 3 phases, then you should not expect the actual campaign optimization to be happening and producing better results. Okay, on the free version, I'm guessing this is Privyr. Will you eventually add a delete lead and edit lead option? Yes, that shouldn't be available already. You can just click on options to edit or delete. If you have any issues with that, just feel free to ping us on our live chat on our website or on the app. We'll be happy to get that sorted for you. All right, last few questions before we round it out. What if we duplicate a campaign because of internal changes in pricing or etc.? Does the data get back to zero or will it just continue?
It should just continue. um, because essentially, again, it's more sort of the information that's coming into the CRM that we are learning from. So you have different settings in your campaigns, whether when you're running a lead generation campaign and with an ads manager, you have the CRM integration, but at the top, you can define your audience. You can define there's different elements or different elements and levers that Facebook allows you to utilize from a creative and a targeting perspective. That all that goes into account that we essentially learn from as well. Because remember, you're running those campaigns. We have that data from a campaign perspective, and then what we're doing is on the other side learning from how that campaign drove your audience through the sales funnel. So we're basically bringing those two views of the world of your data into our model. So essentially, we know the campaign information that we have visibility because you're running that on our platform from audience, creative, campaign, what was served to that lead that was generated. What we want to learn is how did that lead generate? move across the sales funnel. And then when you bring those two sort of dynamics together, it's sort of where the magic happens.
Great. And last one, what if the profiles of the campaigns are quite different? You mentioned that it's optimized based on the CRM and not on the campaign. But if you have a campaign focused on lots, like land lots, I guess, in properties, and another one for beachfronts, the customers are quite different. So how does that work?
Sorry, I was on mute. I think it goes to what I just mentioned now in terms of like we have that campaign information and we understand as you're running campaigns, you have the ability to sort of classify specific audience, like the audience definition, whether it's broad, um, what essentially we're doing is understanding how those campaigns are driving conversions. So we're taking that campaign information along with the customer information across the sales funnel from a lead ID point of view. I think the lead ID is the ultimate sort of crux, the ultimate identifier that's going to help us bridge that gap. And then we'll take that into account when you optimize for quality leads the next time.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I think we've gone through most of the major ones about Metacapy and Privyr. I know that there's other questions. We'll try and respond to those offline. If there's you have any other questions or need any help, feel free again just to scan the QR code, talk to our sales team. We'll be posting this online. We'll be sending it out to all registrants as well, so that you'll be able to review this, skip to the portions that you want, particularly around the setup and the optimizations. But thanks so much for having us here. Thanks, Heriberto, for your session and sharing and expertise as well. We really hope that this helps you generate more qualified leads with the Meta Conversions API and Privyr helping you drive more conversions, get more leads, and of course, convert more of those leads into sale. So thanks so much for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you.